Harvest Moon versus Story of Seasons, Villagers Edition. Last week we already did the Bachelors and Bachelorettes, so this week we're going to move on to the Villagers, but there's a lot of Villagers, so I'm going to have to split this into two parts. So this is Villagers Part 1. So we're going to start with one of my favorites. It's Wally. This was him in the original Harvest Moon game, and this is his new design in the new Story of Seasons remake. I loved his original artwork, and I like his new artwork as well, so I'm going to give them a 10 out of 10 on Wally. I also have to say I really love the attention to detail. This was what he looked like in the original game. You can see that his eyes are kind of like there's stars in them. And then this is the remade version. Again, like they just completely did a great job on it. You can see he's still got the stars in his eyes. So for Wally, give him a 10 out of 10 in the original and a 10 out of 10 in the new game. I really like his art, and I like his in-game sprite. Next up, we have Chris, his wife, and this is what she looked like in the Harvest Moon game, and then this is what her remade version looks like. With Chris, they actually made quite a few changes, but they're all like subtle changes. You can notice that her hair is a bit shorter, her skirt changed into pants, and it looks like her top is a little bit different as well. For these two, I like them both. I think it's kind of a toss-up, which one do I like more. So now we're moving on to her in-game sprites. This was her original in-game sprite, and then this is her remade sprite. I love her new in-game sprite. Like, she looks so sassy, like the way that she's walking and everything. I love it. So I have to give it to the new remade version. So for the artwork, it's kind of a toss-up for me, but in-game sprite, I really love the new sprite. So again, I'm going to give it to Story of Seasons. Rounding out their family, we have Hugh, and this is what he looked like in the original Harvest Moon game, and then this is his remade version. With Hugh, again, they didn't really make any big changes. They changed the colors up a little bit, but all in all, I think it's just a slight upgrade. So this is what Hugh looked like in the original GameCube game, and then this is what he's going to look like in the new Switch game. So with his in-game sprite, I think it's a little bit more obvious that originally he was supposed to be wearing like a tank top, whereas now it looks like he's just wearing a sleeveless shirt. I think with this, I kind of slightly prefer the original because it kind of like nailed home that he's wearing like the athletic clothes, whereas now it looks like he's just wearing a weird sleeveless shirt. Next up, we're finally moving on from that family. We're on to Vesta. This was her original artwork, and then this is her new artwork. Okay, not to sound like a broken record, but they toned her down again. I prefer the original one because it has a bit more personality. I like the apron that she was wearing, whereas the new one, she just looked kind of like crazy. Now we're going to look at the in-game sprites. This was her original sprite, and then this is her new one in the Story of Seasons game. Looking at the in-game sprites as well, I prefer the old one. She had a lot more personality, whereas now it looks like she looks way too toned down. So of the villagers that we've looked at so far, this is by far the worst. I don't really like some of the changes they made with her. Next up, we have an elderly couple. First, we have Nina. This was her in the original, and this is her in the remake. With Nina, it looks like they just upgraded her art. It's really faithful to the original. So then we can look at her in-game sprites. This was her in the original, and then this is going to be her in the remake. So there's not really that much to say about Nina. It looks like it was just a slight upgrade, both with her artwork and with her sprites. Now, there's going to be a bit of controversy with her husband, Galen. This was his original artwork, and then this is his new artwork. So the censors have come for Galen. They're not letting him smoke anymore. This is what he looked like in the GameCube version, and this is what he's going to look like in the upcoming version. So the censors have taken his cigarette away. I actually don't think him having a cigarette is really that big of a deal. I could see if it was like a cool character who was smoking, then maybe kids would see it and be like, oh yeah, smoking is cool. But I mean, it's just some crazy old man. Why don't you just let him have his cigarette? But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't really care that much. Next up, we have No Eyes, Thick Eyebrows, Takakuda. This is what he looked like in the original game, and this is what he's going to look like in the upcoming remake. There's not really that much to say about Takakuda. Maybe it looks like he changed from black hair to brown hair, but other than that, it just looks like a slight upgrade. Here he is in the original, and this is what he's going to look like in the upcoming remake. So Takakuda, really faithful to the original game. Not much to say either way, so good job on this one. Our last character for today, we have Mukumuku. He looks really cute in his original, and then this is what his new one looks like. Poor Mukumuku. He still looks really cute, but it looks like in the artwork he lost all of his friends. This was his sprite in the original GameCube game, and now this is his sprite in the new remake. Is it just me, or is he a little bit less cute in the remake? In the original game, he looks like really fluffy and really cute, but in the remake, he almost looks a little bit scarier. But yeah, I mean, he still looks really cool, but gut reaction is that it's a little bit of a downgrade. So for the first 8 villagers, I think most of them are upgrades, but a couple of them, they downgraded a little bit, and they got censored a little bit. So, you know, just kind of like the Bachelors and Bachelorettes, it's kind of a mixed bag. Last, I just want to say thank you to everyone who's subscribed to my channel and everybody who has liked or commented on any of my videos. You guys are the best. And I'll see you guys next time.